Welcome back. It's Fantasy Baseball Picks and Bets here on the Mayo Media Net. Please rate, review, and subscribe to the audio-only pod. Those 5-star reviews matter, like, way more than they should. And in a minute, after I put on a bit of a clinic, I'll ask you to press the cartoon finger down below, because, again, man, likes on YouTube really just matter more than they should. Welcome back to the Waiver Show. Really appreciate the feedback so far, right? The kind of no-nonsense stuff, so let me not do what I always do and ramble too much. Let's just keep it short. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. If you're new, welcome aboard. We do appreciate you. Again, 2 short episodes every week. Front end of the week, kind of minding the advanced leaderboards, all the nerdy stuff. But it does help. Best way to find the next breakouts with some underlying split data that maybe I have access to that not everyone else does. I'm here to do some work that you don't have to. Both the hitting and the pitcher side, and then we do this. And add at every position for 10, 12, and 15-team leagues, though you'll see on the graphic I bring up in a minute, for pitchers, it really ends up being the same. Pitching is so difficult this year, right? There's just none of it. That waiver wire in a 12-team league kind of looks exactly like it does in a 15-team league. So we're kind of just putting those all together. And, I'm always kind of keeping an eye. We have guys on the horizon also. We're doing pretty good, I think that's what it's all about, fantasy. Staying on top of the work, making sure you're not taking zeros, making sure you're always playing. One of the mistakes I've made getting into the high-stakes arena, believe it or not, and then I promise we'll go, but this matters, is just that, like, starting guys that are healthy, I guess, and, like, that being enough. You're saying, oh, okay, he doesn't have that red suitcase next to him or the Switzerland flag or whatever, the Red Cross. So you're just going to leave them and not noticing, that a player that you was kind of leading off, now maybe he's batting 6th, and instead of playing 7 days a week, was only playing 5, and they're not producing. So hopefully you'll get a bit of the nuance in that context here when you hang with us, Mayo Media Net, hat tip, Pat Mayo, he is the man. Without any further ado, let's do it. Maybe we'll get halfway around the diamond, then we'll take a quick break. Wrap it up with outfielders and pitchers. What do you say? Okay, this one show, again, is less stats. We're adding it, really, it's more about opportunities. I'm going to try to have a couple recent stuff up, but I don't want to beat you to death, because that's not saying it's not how you do it. Because you want guys that are hitting, but playing is like everything, Playing time is like the nut, is the nut hand. So, first up, let's start behind the dish with catchers, where we've got Yan Gomes at the top. So that'd be a universal add. Blake Sable for the Giants, who gets mixed in with some outfield, which, usually is a great sign for a 12-teamer, especially if you stream players that get at-bats that are not as a catcher. And then Matt Tice for the Angels, Logan O'Hoppe, I'm sorry. He just went down. I believe his season's over. So, not that Tice necessarily going to be an answer, but for right now it is. And we know he can slug just a touch. The numbers on Gomes are crazy. The recent numbers, like last 33 ABs, I got a double and 4 homers, 8 ribbies, and a steal. He's batting .424. So again, when you're just churning these guys, that's just what it is. Also, I find I don't like to reach for catchers because people that do are wed to them. There's a 1-catcher league. 2-catcher leagues is very fluid. You're always shifting and moving, which is why I'm trying to add guys like Tice. You'll see the guys on this list, the bottom of these lists, like most regular human players would not be interested in these guys, but I'm doing it because I roll in some deep fantasy circles, and I know I have at least a couple people that play like NFBC that follow me. And I'm not going to leave them hanging. We're gonna get it for everybody. Again, I'm playing in some main event qualifiers and NFBC stuff myself. So it's really Gomes, Sable, and Tice. Again, playing time is really just everything. I noticed that kind of rang when I was looking for Sable. The Giants can be very fluid. He's played 4 of the last 5 games, versus lefties and righties. So you're chasing catchers, and a guy might play in the outfield. I guess that's really, like I said, it's just about as good as we could do. Though he has not played the outfield in a couple weeks. they've had crazy injuries, but no Haniger is back. So again, even if it's just a line share catcher opportunity, he has a little bit of stick. Let's get to first base. Joey Gallo, yes, you read that right. I mean, one of my bigger misses, and I'm fine with it. But if I were in a 10-team league, I wouldn't be, rolling my eye. Oh, Joey Gallo, LOLs. Last 28 ABs, he has 2 doubles and 4 homers. To go with the 9 Ks, of course, would be Joey Gallo at that, but he's batting 250. Whoa, Joey Gallo batting 250? That's ridiculous, right? In fact, had you told me Joey Gallo bat 250, he'd probably be on 100% of my teams. So he's hit his way. He's hits all around the lineup. Looking at now, he does play every day. Spotty day against tough lefties. You don't want him in those games anyway. 5th, 6th, 7th is even a 2. So you can see like some upside there, right? Upside with just him kind of maintaining, but then at the same time getting the extra opportunities. So that's always huge. Then it's Rodolfo. Oh, I'm sorry, Connor Joe. Sorry, I skipped over. We'll go back. We'll get to second base. Connor Joe on the Pirates. He's kind of an LOL guy, right? And you're going to get a lot of that during the year. The misses everyone had, and why people left, and they don't believe him. That's not to say all these guys are going to stick, but I do know I was into Joe a year ago. Right, list 46 ABs for Joe, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 2 homers, batting 261. To go with 4 walks, looking really good. He's playing every day. I'm like, right? What do you notice? A lot of times it's bad teams. We spoke about that last week. That's where the opportunities are. The teams that are not the good. Now the Pirates are winning, and they're not going to take that away. So he's batting 3rd, 4th, 5th. That's Connor Joe, and then it's Hunter Dozier. This is where it's just he has a pulse. I wanted to say like he's playing, but I know that's not even. I'm not saying it's not the case, but it's not every single day. Dozier's played 3 of 4 and 4 of 6. It's a bit spotty. If he hits, he'll stick. Royals are really struggling on offense. They're desperate for anything. To that same note, he could lose his spot, but I know in the leagues I'm in, there's nothing out there. Just nothing out there at all for first base. So desperate times call for desperate measures. Again, sometimes it's just a stopgap. And that's kind of why you're sticking here, right? Because we're always going to be mining. Hopefully you got somebody last week. You don't need it now, but if you do get caught, it would be Dozier for me. Second base, it's Michael Busch for the Dodgers, who, again, I really don't know much about, and I'm not the big prospect guy, but I do know the Dodgers know what they're doing. And I also know in 10-team leagues, you're playing for it all, right? It's pure superstar domination type stuff. First or last, truly. Ricky Bobby style. So I'm almost chasing if I have a need. I mentioned in a breath before Castro and how good he's been, which, he has been. Castro's been excellent. Again, the Pirates are just hot to death right now. And is it going to last? I don't know. Probably not. But a lot of these guys have had shine and some track record. Like, it's not impossible. The real key is that they fixed the pitching, right? Because the talent was there, but they needed to cultivate it. Rowan's and Contreras, Mitch Keller, and the like. So Castro's been awesome last 44 ABs, batting 273, 3 doubles and 2 homers with 5 walks and a steal. So he's kind of doing everything. Second base is a tough position. Then you wrap it up Chris Taylor, he's back, I guess. The strikeout rate is crazy, but he's hitting home runs. And he missed a few games with injury, came back, and has played 4 of 5. Playing short and third, but he's batting in the bottom third of the lineup. So, again, it's just desperate time stuff. So it's Michael Busch, Rodolfo Castro, and Chris Taylor at second. Joey Gallo, Connor Joe, Hunter Dozier at first. Yon Gomes, Blake Sable, Mac Tice at catcher. Let's finish up the infield before we take a quick break here. Joey Ortiz for Baltimore Orioles. Again, I don't pretend to know anything about these guys. I know the Orioles are playing well. And I know they were looking for a boost. They called him up. I know people I trust that like him. He started and played second base. So, for me, it's almost that's good enough when you're looking for a second baseman. Again, Adam Frazier actually moved to right field, but that would be the spot maybe that got lost that could easily be replaced. So then it's John Birdie. Miami also, same thing, struggling on offense. They've been shaking it up. I really thought of Birdie as kind of a backup player However, it's been Yuri Gurriel really as the backup players. They have so many kind of utility type guys, second baseman stuff. So Gurriel's only played 2 of the last 5 or 6. And Birdie just rattled off. He was off last night, but had played 8 in a row before that. Missed a day, played 9 or 11 in a row before that. So Birdie's playing every day, in particular if he needs some speed. He hasn't gone nuts yet, but we know it's there, right? For him to just go off completely. And then again, you're desperate. And you're talking about 15 teams. Whenever J.P. Crawford comes up, but he's hitting right now. He's got a homer and a steal last 30 plate appearances, batting .333 with 6 ribbies and 6 runs scored. So he's going to play every day. I tend to like the Mariner offense maybe a little bit more than everyone else does. I think they're going to come around even more. Kelnick. I'm sorry, I got stuck there. Crawford, yes. Playing every single day, right? 1 day off since the season started. But batting 9th every day also. So, you're going to get very little, but, the thing you do like, of course, if he hits, Julio Rodriguez right behind him to help push him around, right? So, you could believe in the runs if you believe in the OBP. And maybe you get a couple steals. It's the pop, I don't believe it, but, again, if you're rostering J.P. Crawford in there, you're probably in trouble. Finishing up at third base, J.D. Davis, who's been moving up the ranks. Right, people worried San Francisco wouldn't play him or anybody kind of every day. He's playing every day. They sat him like a spot here. He sat on the 22nd. He sat in the 10th. He's playing though, and it's mostly lefties. So when you see, if you see a clump of lefties, he might sit. Although he's played against the last 2 lefties they've faced. So J.D. Davis kind of is working his way into viability. Heimer Candelario, who I like. Again, people just roll their eyes at Washington. But he's a professional hitter. He's going to play every day, and he's looking pretty good. So, if you're following my betting stuff, we've been on Washington. Again, it's just narrative. The public gets their teeth sunk into something, and they don't let it go. And then Mike Moustakas, they're going to Colorado. He's been playing, and they're going to Colorado. That's about it. So you're not looking to keep him. Moustakas is a kind of a churn play. But a play nonetheless, when you're going to get the altitude, and he's going to be in the lineup and do some damage, apparently. Okay, let's wrap it up strong, as always, with your outfield ads, and then some pitchers, got some starters and some relievers, and then we'll get you out of here, hopefully, fully prepped. Again, audio-only listeners, you didn't have to go and write this stuff down. We do have a snazzy graphic that I made that will be available on Twitter. You can get me at John Laghezza or at the Mayo Media Network handle. All free, and of course, if it's free, it's for me. You know that. But yeah, it's always really helpful to have something like this. Boom, or you jump over to YouTube and get us a like at the same time, little screenshot, and then just something to refer to when you're doing your waiver ads. This, especially if you're just a regular person, like I've been alluding to, you'll be good. You should be covered with this. And though the guys on the top, if they're not rostered, right, that's where you want to be. So let's dive into the outfield. 10-team first. Esteury Ruiz on Oakland. We heard about the steals, right? 82 steals in the minors last year. Now he's leading off and getting on. Right? He wasn't like a Billy Hamilton guy. He's not a terrible hitter. He's an OBP guy in the minors. So I was really big on him. And now you're kind of seeing it. Oakland offense, not nearly as much of a joke as the team is, because the bullpen, it's really the bullpen in particular. Then it's Captain Jack Swinski for the Pirates. Well, I know people are waiting for him to fall apart, but again, I don't know. In this kind of power-starved environment, remember, though scoring is up, it's not like power is really up. It's up a little bit. Home run the PAs are not up. I just covered this at The Athletic. That number is down. Home run the fly ball is up a little bit off the lows, but it's not anywhere near like 2019. So this is not like bouncy ball. We're just getting more because BABIP is up and batting averages are up and walks are up. Left on base is down because of those same things. So scoring is up without being home runs. So if you need power, Sawinski's still legit is what I'm getting at. He's even started to play against lefties, but regardless, if you get the lion's share against righties, he's going to be good to go. Then it's Josh Lowe, who's just legit. Big miss for me. A guy I hadn't even considered with the flawed hit tool. Looks like a legit 30-30 type of guy. Like, I'm not kidding. And it kills me to say it because I have none of them. And I like to be on top of the big hits. We have some already. That's not one of them. Get with Josh Lowe. He is awesome. Tampa is awesome. They're on fire. And, they're going to get him just every spot. Let me just check the lineup really quick, because I believe he's moving up. Yeah, so like when the season started, batting 8th, batting 7th. Now he's kind of making his way to 5th. He's even cleaned up. The playing time could be a bit more consistent, but I think that's coming. I really do. 3 of 4, 6 of 8. This is Josh Lowe has played for Tampa. So 6 of 8, you're getting to the lion's share, and I think that next step is coming. 12 teams, outfield. Brent Rooker for Oakland. It's the same idea as Sawinski and Ruiz in combination. People don't buy it because Oakland stinks. LOL. Rooker was a legit prospect with power prospect. And again, if you need power, he's legit. The swing and miss will probably come back to earth. But you don't know that for sure. Everyone's so... because of the narrative. Like, that's like the safe conservative play is. Well, because it's Oakland, he's come back to earth, and he can't break out. It's not the case. I like the offense there, so... I think Rooker is going to hit home runs if you need him. Brandon Marsh kind of doing everything. I expect Marsh to make his way to the 10-team list soon. He's working his way up the Philadelphia lineup, if I'm not mistaken. Quick check on Brandon Marsh, yeah. You know, again, he was batting 9th to start the year every day, and now he's batting 5th. 3 of the last 4 days, big deal, and even more than that, 6 of 8 or whatever. So Brandon Marsh, but he's a prospect also. That's some shine. Excuse me, and we thought maybe he was blocked. I'm just battling crazy throat stuff, people. I'm very sorry. And now he's good. Last one will be Joe. Also filling that double box. I think 12 teams, he's got to be rostered. Corner, first, or outfield. Just to see what he got as you kind of fill it in. And it'll probably be with the players on the 15-team league. 15-team spot there. Stone Garrett for Washington. I really like. He's like super toolsy. Big time homer speed guy in the minors. Washington stinks. I thought he'd get a chance to play. They brought him up. He started playing every day. Then he had a couple of days off. So as much as I like, him, and I do think it might come, I don't know. I just don't know. They've been weird. Right, so what I was alluding to, he played 4 in a row, had a day off, played again. You're going, 5-6 is on. Then he had 2 more days off in a row. Lefty last night and he played. He batted 6th. Second game up, he batted 2nd. Alex Cole is back playing every day. He had sat 3 of the 4 games when Stone played 4 in a row, and Cole had not been that good. I wonder, maybe it was just like the quickening happening. So Garrett is more of a add and bench. If you need to start him, the player I'm saying, you're in 15 teams, you're better with Avisale. Garcia, man, he just hit a home run. That's like what we want to get with these guys, right? Sine waves. He wasn't great. We like the talent. I was drafting him, so I'm into the underlying stuff. And now, we hit some run. Hopefully, we get behind him and get a little win in the sale for the next 10 days or so. And then it's Connor Capel for Oakland, right? It's all Oakland. When in doubt, go to Oakland or Washington, right? But that's what it is. Because people, LOL. He's a power speed guy also. I know you're definitely getting some speed. He's starting to play every single day. This is Connor Capel. So 9 of the last 10 games. The first 5 of those, he bat 8th and 9th. Last night, he bat 2nd. So again, that's part of the opportunity that we're talking about when we target these bad teams. It's not just the playing time, but it's a playing time with the ability to kind of move up. So it's Ruiz was batting 9th, now he's batting 1st. And, Capel was batting 9th. After that, now he's batting 2nd. So you have a chance of really adding to your team. And again, hopefully that's what this show will do. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Hopefully that earned a like. And get up in the comment section if we missed anything, and follow us on Twitter, get the graphic. Let's just wrap it up quick with pitchers. This is, gosh, as much of detailed pitching work as I do. And if you're into that stuff, you can see me on Call to the Pen every day, Monday through Friday. I do all the betting stuff for Pizzola, the baseball show. This is more about opportunity. I'm telling you, it's a jungle out there. So it's Tyler Tanner, Bybee. Excuse me, it's not Bybee, it's Bybee for the Guardians, who looked ridiculous, and he's got all the shine, plus they have the front organization backing from us. The blessing, the green light. So he's going to be great, and I think the spot might be a little on the threat, so that would be the one thing to keep me from kind of blowing my brains out in fab, but if you need him, you go get him. I'm not one of those. Because I'm such a conservative fab player, I'm the guy that adds for $8 and $4 on $1,000 budget, that if I want to go for $1.70, like I went for $1.80 on Mason Miller, just because it might be great. Like, I need pitching, and you go get it. It's not there. You don't know how many of these guys are going to come up. So, Bybee, you go get him, whatever it takes. Next up, Gavin Stone should get his look soon for the Dodgers. They have a spot, and I think he's starting to look good again. I know he struggled, and people are ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Trust the Dodgers. I think Stone will be good. Johan Oviedo was on our leaderboard. We might as well do with his teammate, Vince Velasquez. I know, Vince Velasquez, Pittsburgh, LOL. LOL. Lighten up the board, 30% whiff, sub 300 ex-WOBA. There's something in the water in Pittsburgh. I don't mean like tongue-in-cheek, which, whatever, I guess it is, but I think they have found the answer with their pitching process. And we knew they had the talent, right? Oviedo and Velasquez can be decent. We've seen burst from them before, But I was trying to think of Mitch Keller and Roansy Contreras as the talent. Vince Velasquez was not the name that was big for him. I was thinking about the talent that was there. But Oviedo, certainly, Keller, and Roansy, and we weren't getting much, and that's where the LOL stuff comes from. Sometimes deserved. But if they're going to start to get it going, we want to be first there. If Pittsburgh is maximizing, right, talent, which is the thing we're looking for from these teams. So, last two starters, two lefties, it's Drew Smyly for the Cubs and Joey Lucchesi of the Mets. These guys are just going to get the rock. They're keeping it down. Nasty sliders. Past that, you're probably starting them in I'd say most matchups, right? They're not automatic. They're not automatic starts. They're not must starts, but it's not like it's, Detroit only either. Lucchesi looked great the first time out. I think he was okay last night. But he's going to be good. He's got some film. And then relievers, if Alvarado is still there, I know people are probably like, oh, he's been gone. But if you're in, he seems to be a really shallow league, certainly a guy needs to be, I think he could be like RP1 type all the way through. So go with Alvarado. I think Kimbrel got the rock after that, but again, usage matters. The Phillies are going to be winning a lot of games. Alvarado RP1. After that, it's just really tough. I think it's Yanier Cano. I know it's Cano. Y. Cano. Sorry, my friend. Reliever for Baltimore. Again, I was talking about this at The Athletic and on a podcast appearance where if you're stuck because they're just on no saves, and we had Kahada on the list last week. If you picked him up, you got saves. Though he's not like the closer. Estevez getting saves also. I like these relievers that are just ridiculously good. Lights out guys. They could be better than the two-star streamers that we beat up on in the betting game. So a guy like Cano might get 3 or 4 innings a week and end up with 6 or 7 strikeouts and no runs. He might even squeak out a win. Wait a minute. That's like an incredible start. That's how impactful relievers can be greater than starting pitchers. I think Eno tweeted today, starting pitcher ERA was 4.4 or something like that. So, yeah, if you could beat that with relievers, then you should. And then it's Daniel Bard. If he's still available, he's working his way back from anxiety issues. But we know, he's good. And they gave him a ton of money. And he should be the closer. Not the best spot to pitch in Colorado, but it'll do. Right. So, all right, that'll do it, everybody. Fantasy baseball picks and bets. The Waiver Show with the big man. 10-team outfield, Esteury Ruiz, Jack Sawinski, and Josh Lowe. 12-team, Brent Rooker, Brendan Marsh, Connor Joe. 15-team, Stone Garrett, Avisail Garcia, Connor Capel. And then the starting pitchers, Tanner Bybee, Gavin Stone, Johan Oviedo, Drew Smyly, Vince Velasquez, Joey Lucchesi, and the relievers, Alvarado, Cano, and Bard. And that will do it, everybody. Thank you so much. Really, we appreciate the feedback that we're just doing a no-nonsense thing. Right. Cutting right to the chase. The info you need. Minding the stat leaderboard. Get you familiar with some of the names who might be the next kind of interesting names. And then end of the week, boom, sweep it up with your waiver ad. So please rate, review, and subscribe to the audio-only pod. And don't be shy to hop over to Twitter at John Laghezza or the Mayo Media Network to grab the graphic. We do this stuff for you, and it just makes it a little bit easier to refer to, right? That way you don't have to go back and write all the stuff down or have to hear me talk any more than you need to. Boom, boom, boom. All right, everybody. Thank you so much again. We'll see you at the beginning of the week. Catch you on the flip side, man. Peace.